What if one of the most iconic musicians of all time released a fully produced album, and deliberately hid the fact that it was his? No vocals, no mention of the Beatles, no flashy promotion, just a mysterious name on the cover and a curious sound unlike anything fans had heard before. This is the true, bizarre story of Thrilling Ton, an orchestral, instrumental album that Paul McCartney recorded, produced, and quietly released under a fake identity. For decades, barely anyone knew it existed. Even fewer knew it was his. When the Beatles broke up in 1970, the world mourned the end of an era. But for Paul McCartney, it wasn't the end, it was a creative rebirth. Free from the pressures of being part of the biggest band in history, McCartney explored new musical directions. He released McCartney, formed Wings, and collaborated closely with his wife Linda on their joint album Ram. But right around that time, in 1971, McCartney was already cooking up something unexpected. A wordless, fully instrumental version of Ram, transformed into a lush, orchestral experience. No guitars, no lyrics. Just strings, horns, and a cinematic flair. And even more strangely, he didn't want his name attached to it. Rather than release the album under his own name, McCartney invented a character, Percy Thrilling Ton, a fictional high society playboy with a love for music and a mysterious past. Paul went all in on the concept, crafting fake newspaper stories about Percy's adventures and planting odd ads in the press to tease the release. The album, titled Thrilling Ton, wasn't released until 1977, 6 years after it was recorded. And when it finally came out, there was zero mention of McCartney's involvement. No tour, no interviews, no marketing. Just a strange, orchestral reinterpretation of Ram credited to a man who didn't exist. The result? Almost no one noticed. The album didn't chart, critics ignored it, and most McCartney fans had no idea the project even existed. It was one of the most low-key releases ever from a major artist. Interestingly, McCartney didn't perform or sing on Thrilling Ton at all. He handed the entire arrangement over to composer Richard Anthony Hewson, who previously worked with the Beatles. The album was recorded in just 3 days at Abbey Road Studios with a full orchestra. Hewson later shared his frustration. He believed the project had real potential, but was puzzled by McCartney's decision to bury it under a pseudonym. Had it been released as something like Paul McCartney Orchestral, I think people would have taken it more seriously, he recalled. Instead, it was treated like a musical oddity, filed away and forgotten. So, why would Paul go through all this trouble to hide his own creation? Some say he simply wanted to experiment without public pressure. Others believe it was a creative inside joke, something whimsical and personal. McCartney has always embraced the unexpected, and Thrilling Ton was no exception.